1255M. Recall, Mr. Stalker, this is a case in which you've been charged with obstruction of highway passageway as well as violation of park rules. Both counts in your case are alleged to have occurred at 50 West Hampden Avenue here in Englewood back on February 19th of this year at approximately 10:55 a.m. Did you see and understand a video advisement of your rights today?
Yes, I have.
Excellent. Looks like you conversated with the city. It looks like the conversation must have been pretty well because I got a motion to dismiss this case against you. The motion from the city notes that defendant has been actively engaged with court navigator in recent history. Court navigator reports he's doing well and improving. And you've met again with him today at length. And the city's moving the court to dismiss in the best interest of justice. City wish to be heard on this motion further?
Judge, I'm actually not at all familiar with Mr. Stalker. I read the reports for the first time today, and then I spoke with Mr. Shunnison. Mr. Shunnison is actually very familiar with Mr. Stalker. Spoke highly of him, his improvements, his involvement at 5280. And so really it's just really just hoping to get him in touch with some more resources. The alleged violations in this case are incredibly nominal, and in fact I will tell the court one of them was for smoking in the park, and I happened to be smoking in that same park yesterday over my lunch break. So Judge, I'll leave it at that. This is not the type of case this office wants to prosecute.
Understood. I assume you got no objection to that. Do you have any questions or concerns about any of this? Mr. Stalker?
No.
I'm asking you. I'm going to grant this motion to dismiss your case today. I just want to see if you have any questions or concerns.
Well, I just think that I would like to, put it on record that the cops in this case, they seem to do this quite often. And I just think that should go, noted that things like this are kind of everybody's waste of time. It's just, and I don't think it's right for them to be doing this. And, I was just gathering my stuff. That's all I was doing. I was just organizing my stuff in order to have somebody say that I'm illegal passageway or something of that nature is just kind of ludicrous.
Understood. Obviously, Mr. Stalker, I wasn't present on that day. I don't know exactly what happened, and I hope you can understand that as the judge, I sit between you and the government in this case and try to resolve any conflict and almost like a referee. And so I don't have any management authority or oversight over the police department or over the city generally. If you feel like there's an issue there, I'd encourage you to file a complaint if you felt like that were appropriate in this matter. And, I know what you're saying as far as, or I think I understand what you're saying as far as the cops do this all the time. Do you mean that they're citing people for smoking, or do you mean that they're just giving you a hard time on the sidewalk there or the obstruction issue?
The hard time on the sidewalk.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. That's actually both.
Yeah, okay.
It's, for example, I'm not allowed to rest and talk to my fellow person to say hi, just simple hi. They're harassing us about being on a public passageway.
Understood.
And that's...
with that issue, I don't know. I mean, maybe as long as we're leaving enough room for ADA access or whatever, do you feel like you're doing that? If somebody with a wheelchair came by or something, they could get by?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if
that's just something I'd ask you to be conscious of as a courteous member of the community. And I think
that's understandable. And that's totally noted. So, I mean, but this was just this wasn't this case.
Understood. And I think the city's agreeing with you. Otherwise, they wouldn't be moving to dismiss this case. And so, again, I guess I'm just pointing out if you feel like you want some review of what happened in this case, that you should, file an appropriate complaint with the police department for an internal affairs investigation or work with our council or elected officials on these matters.
Okay.
City, wish to any further?
I think the court addressed it well enough. The other complaint that brings this case to bar here today is essentially that the sidewalk was blocked and had been blocked for about an hour. Again, I'm dismissing, so I guess just ultimately what the court is saying, I think from the city's perspective, just make sure that other folks have access to that walkway, be it bikes, pedestrians, folks with handicaps and we're not blocking it. But by and large, I don't think this is something that needs to be prosecuted here today. Thank you.
Mr. Stalker, anything else you want to say or any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, congrats on a successful dismissal in this matter. I appreciate your appearance to try to resolve this. If you'd like a copy of this, you're welcome to go to the front counter. I'll get you a copy of this. Otherwise, you're free to go, okay?
Okay, thank
You
you
have a great
very
day.
much, Your
Thank
Honor.
you. Thank you. Okay, court's in recess.